I'm a savage, drop the classic, thinking back. Drop the classic, to establish that the magic, it's all the magic. Got a mask, who was that? Living legend, lethal weapon. Mastermind, never tried. Tell him all. If I am in second, it's after no one. Just give me a second to let them know. I'm the headline, the deadline. I'm a head time, the rare kind. I'm a living legend, lethal weapon, mastermind. Big time.
The City of London, the home of the historic, the iconic, the symbolic, and the dramatic. This weekend, the capital city opens its doors to the T100 and welcomes in a cast of the heroic, led by the extraordinary return from injury of Hayden Wild. He fought so hard.
He's arrived with a bang and he is delighted. There has been no faltering from this man.
Rico Bogan, you're a T100 winner. Zim puts his fist up in the air.
He should enjoy this moment.
Yelagines wins his second ever T100 race here in Vancouver.
There we go, that's it, that's the moment.
K-Wolf wins the T100 here in Singapore and raises it in the air. Julie Duron proving that she's got what it takes. Julie Duron raises the tape in the air. And that's the smile we've been waiting for. The class of Taylor Knibb back to winning ways on the T100 here in Vancouver. Beyond those who've tasted glory this year is a field who want their own slice of success. This is T100 racing at its best. Time to hold on tight. So away we go here in London. As always in the T100, a 2-kilometre swim is followed by 80 kilometres on the bike and then an 18-kilometre run. I'm Matt Baker, and as always alongside me is the 2018 World Triathlon Champion, Olympic and Commonwealth Games medalist Vicky Holland. Vicky, how excited are you for a home race?
Oh, I always love coming to London. I've raced here myself over the years, but for me this is the most stacked women's field we've had this season, so very excited to see it unfold.
Also joining us in the commentary box, Olympic and multiple world champion Jan Frodeno. Jan, we've missed you since Singapore. Good to see you.
And I am so glad to be back, sitting next to the action as we watch the ladies tackle this very, very short first turn. We're just looking at it from the balcony. It is incredibly short until they take their first turn, and that's where we can see it being so aggressive. If you look 3 or 4 rows back, they're already battling, and how much that battle is costing them speed. It looks like a front group already shaping up.
Yeah, it certainly does. Who have you got eyes on there, Vicky, at the front? Is that Jess?
So we've got in the white cap there, that's Lucy Charles-Barclay. To the left of her, that's Jess Learmonth in the blue cap. In the pink cap, you can just see at the bottom of the screen there, that was Kate Woff. We've got green cap Taylor Knibb. So everyone is there or thereabouts, and I think in the middle of those two, the green and the pink cap, I think that's Holly Lawrence as well. So a lot of the athletes we would expect to be there at this point are, in fact, right at the front of the race.
Jan, tell us a little bit about the course here in London. It strikes me as one of the easier swims that we've got on the T100 calendar. Is that fair?
Well, I mean, the one thing that's for sure is any swim is flat, but, you know, we've got 2 minutes. We are 2 minutes in. We've already passed the first buoy, and it's difficult to see from this angle, but here you can see it a lot better. That's a hard turn, and that means that a field that is 20 athletes deep, 19 in this case, that have had to kind of bunch together, and everybody's fighting for the inside line, which is significantly quicker. And that actually surprised me because it's a very, very aggressive start. Normally the athletes have more time until they have to make such a hard turn, and that's definitely shaping interesting for this first breakaway swim pack.
Could you find yourself getting a bit caught by one of those buoys, Vicky?
Oh, definitely. I mean, in short course racing, there's, you know, maybe 2 or 3 times the amount of people, and so that the first turn buoy often does end up a complete scrum. But what the really top swimmers do very well, the likes of Lucy Charles-Barclay and Jessica Learmonth, they get to a turn buoy and they accelerate out of it because they know that will cause damage to the athletes behind them, the ones who might be just about dangling on the pack, maybe haven't quite made it. That's when they push on, and I think they will have used that early turn to their advantage here.
Could you practice that? Is that something that you do in your training? It seems a very specialist skill, but I imagine in a race of fine margins, particularly in short course, but also in the T100 as well, that could be really critical.
Oh, definitely. There's two things there. There's an awareness of what's going on in front of you when you get to turn buoys, and the more people there are in a race, the harder that is to do because it's all a bit of a whitewashing machine and you can't see everything. But knowing that there's a gap going, 2 or 3 people in front of you, that's important. And the other thing is, yes, of course, you can practice accelerations, and knowing that at about 150 meters into the swim, you're going to have to put in a surge, and you can replicate that in training.
So Lucy Charles-Barclay is currently leading our swim pack, just behind Jessica Learmonth, and then I think that's Taylor Knibb just in 3rd position there. Athletes making their way on the back leg of this 1 kilometre loop before they'll get out at the Aussie exit. Do a fairly long run, it has to be said, for that, much longer than we were used to seeing in Singapore. Get back in the water, do another kilometre before they make their way to T1.
That is Megan McDonald, yeah.
So this is footage of her just getting out of the boat, obviously, and hugely disappointing to see. And she looks in quite a lot of pain there, doesn't she?
I wonder what could happen now.
I know, I'm just wondering if it was some contact around the first turn buoy or something like that. She seemed to be either reaching for a side or a shoulder there. So, yeah, the only thing I can think, having seen her warming up just outside our commentary position this morning, I can only think that something, maybe she got a bit of a boot around the turn buoy or something like that.
All right, let's take a look at this course. Jan, guide us through it, will you?
Okay, so we have a 2-lap Aussie exit swim course where we head out for an 8-lap 10K bike course, 6 roundabouts and 2 out and backs where the athletes can see each other. It's technical and not the best road conditions. It's going to be a survival, and then 5 laps, 3Ks each on the run course to come back to the Excel Center and take the tape.
Long way to go before they do that. All right, we're going to get our first timing splits as our athletes make their way onto the pontoon, out of the water and through the cheering crowds. As I said, a long walk, or long run I should say, on the blue carpet, down onto the pontoon in which they started and straight through, and that's a 3-second lead through that timing point that Lucy Charles-Barclay has over Jess Learmonth. Taylor Knibb 6 seconds back. Kate Woff is right up there as well. Holly Lawrence, Hannah Berry and Georgia Taylor-Brown 15 seconds back from the lead.
It's what we saw Jess Learmonth do in Singapore as well. She came out on the Aussie exit right next to Lucy Charles-Barclay, took a look back, thought, oh, this is a big pack, and then went around her to the front. She wasn't able to split the pack up on that day, but what she's done here today is she's taken that group from a group of 7 down to a group of 4.
Interesting enough, completely different dynamics, right? When you're talking about 31-degree water temperatures, which is what we had in Singapore, which kind of puts a dampener on everybody's performance. And here it's a wetsuit swim, which gives you that little bit of extra buoyancy, and in some degree also makes it harder to split up the pack. But it just allows you to really throw your arms over and go full gas, which Jess is doing, and she's split this pack quite successfully.
Our attention turns to the exit of the De Boer swim course as our athletes make their way out of the water, and this very unique exit to transition 1 up the stairs. Lucy Charles-Barclay, you can see there, Jessica Learmonth as well, and they're all probably taking the slightly sensible decision here of walking up the stairs rather than exhausting their legs in that, but they pick up the pace now.
That would be brutal though, like all the blood flow from your arms and upper body going into your legs, and then I just ran these stairs earlier and tried to do them in one quick swing, and even I had to stop and take a breath without having done a 2K swim. as the ladies approach their bikes over here.
It's a really fun transition because, as you can see, we've got all these crowds here. There's a real big buzz that we get in the Excel Centre that's quite hard to recreate in other races. But at the same time, you've then got to go up those stairs, so it's a bit of a catch-22. You get the atmosphere, but it's incredibly hard work.
I've never seen that before. Did you see Lucy holding onto her bike stand for support? That's a very creative way of using transition devices. Very smart. Helmet on, no blips so far. Looking good. Oh,
So Jess Learmonth led them out, and it's Taylor Knibb she just lost a few seconds even coming out of the water, didn't she? She wasn't quite attached to them. We didn't see what happened. Maybe she slipped getting out of the water or something, but just a bit more of a relaxed approach maybe through transition.
Well, she chose to walk, which is one of the things to keep your heart rate down, I suppose.
And that is the sort of quite funky suit of Georgia Taylor-Brown as she heads out onto the bike course.
So Jessica Learmonth leading us out in front. Five Brits in the top 6. Just Taylor Knibb right in the middle. And you can see there their speeds at the last checkpoint.
If anything, I think Taylor is someone who loves a challenge, and she's found one.
Big time.
So we find ourselves back at the front of the race with Jessica Learmonth still out in front with a 9-second lead ahead of Kate Woff, and then Lucy Charles-Barclay in third. All British front 3 as things stand. I'm sure Taylor Knibb, though, might have something to say about that. Julie Duron just behind as well. Jessica Learmonth won between Vancouver and coming here to London, which was great to see. Must have been nice for her to get that winning feeling, Vicky, back in the legs.
Yeah, you know, Jess is someone who competed at an extraordinary high level at short course racing. She's been to the Olympic Games in both individual, mixed team relay, but after the birth of her son, coming back to racing has been a bit of a struggle. So getting back on the podium, winning races is great.
Yeah, and how does Taylor improve in a season like this, where she's not winning every single race she turns up to, like last year? What do you see in her that she could improve?
Being the overflyer and having, you know, amazing results. She's obviously faced some challenges, but they're connected to what I like to call a growth pain. And I think she is really somebody who embraces that and is able to grow through those challenges.
Let's take our attention back to the front of the race. And Lucy Charles-Barclay right in the mix here. And she's got a host of good support around her. You can just see in front of her Jessica Learmonth, the head turning of Kate Woff in second, and Lucy in third.
So good to see. I mean, she has carried the flag of support, I think, around the world of triathlon for a while now. You know, she's kind of been everybody's darling. She has definitely gone and raised the level, as we'd actually see Kate Woff taking the lead for the first time here. So we have a change on the leaderboard, and these three sticking together, I think, is going to be absolutely crucial to their success.
Go on, Jan, why would you wear aerodynamic gloves? And also perhaps take us through what Hannah's wearing on her sort of calves and shins as well.
Well, I mean, the whole thing, you can see the bikes looking more and more like spacecraft because every aerodynamic detail is optimized. Then you've got these, well, they used to be compression sleeves, and nowadays they're just aerodynamic sleeves, really. And you can have the same thing on your hands, but maybe she's just wearing them to hold onto her bars.
Taylor Knibb has caught up to that top three.
Yeah,
and this is interesting because Kate was trying to put on the pressure thing to try and avoid this. Taylor's making light work and coming straight past them on this little inclination, and She's the only one who's taken the time to put on the socks, so she'll have a quicker transition, which she obviously paid for. She paid for 5 laps. It took her 5 laps to make up the time that it took to put on those socks. That's amazing.
Yeah, she was, what, about 30 seconds down, or just under 30 seconds down coming out of first transition. She then hemorrhaged a little bit more time, so it's not really a hemorrhage, leaked a little bit more time out to those leaders, and then she slowly chipped away, and is finally at, you know, the end of the 5th lap, as she said, yeah, and that's an incredibly long time for her to take to get to the front, but she's now going past Jess Learmonth, who was in 2nd place, so now she has to go through this technical section, and where she can, if she wants to, collect a bottle, but doesn't at this point look particularly interested. Straight back into her aero bars, whereas the other athletes there, Lucy Charles-Barclay and Jess Learmonth, aren't. And it looks like we're going to have a new leader any second now.
Yeah, Taylor Knibb here is making light work of this front 3 and is projecting herself right to the front of this group and to the front of the race.
Again, into the headwind section, we've just had messages from the technical officials. It's getting gusty and windy out there. And that headwind will be something that plays into Taylor's strength, because she is, I would say, the strongest rider in this group for sure. Georgia Taylor-Brown has had something happen to her setup. She's
rear puncture. Rear puncture, definitely.
Rear puncture, but...
Oh, that's tough to see, is it? I mean, it's been a rough day for Georgia in terms of losing nutrition.
Okay, so she's on her way.
She's on her way, and who knows, a bit of time off the bike, a bit of time off pushing. She's going to do all she can to get
feel like the win now.
Down to the front, yeah, this final 20k.
We know Georgia likes a bit of adversity. She won an Olympic silver medal off a flat tyre in that race, but she didn't have to stop. It only occurred during the final lap of the bike, and so she just lost about 15 to 20 seconds in that race. So it's a bit of a different dynamic to this one, but yeah, I'm sure she's just going to use this now as an opportunity to see how many places, how much time she can make up later on in the race.
So
clear road behind Lucy Charles-Barclay there, so it looks like she's got about 12-second gap now, so she's making a real push.
Wow.
As we are now onto the final lap of this course, so on lap 8 of 8, 10-kilometre laps of course, so she's making a bit of a break for home to give herself a little bit of a buffer as they head into T2.
Ooh, they've ridden back up in the headwind. Taylor Knibb has put down the power. They've gapped Kate Woff a little bit, just a little bit, as they head into the Excel Centre.
Taylor Knibb has already got her socks on. Each to their own, everyone's got a different technique, but one thing is for sure, Lucy Charles-Barclay is leading the pack here in this women's race. She's entering the 2nd transition zone, and she can hear the cheers.
Yeah.
Exactly. Cheers of everyone around her in the Excel Centre cheering her on. Brilliant home support here for the British athlete.
That's amazing, and now let's see what she can take from this effort, this huge effort she put in the last lap. If it gives her anything to run out first, I have a suspicion she might struggle to even run out in front of Taylor, but we'll see.
The athletes will practice these moments, trying to do this as quickly, as efficiently as possible. And it looks to me like Lucy Charles-Barclay did get out in front of Taylor Knibb. She definitely got out in front of Taylor Knibb, who's still trying to put
on a shoe,
a shoe there. This looks like a...
Possibly had the laces up a little bit too tight, maybe, just to get that foot in. And Kate Woff out 4th, so we've got our first 4 out on the course.
And this is the moment where these athletes will start to understand the damage or the toll that bike leg has taken as they start to make their first few steps onto this 18-kilometre run course.
Taylor Knibb, in her these super shoes, so-called super shoes, they're super for a lot of things, but they're not super to get into.
They're not designed for our sport, are they? They're not designed for triathlon and fast transitions, and yeah, no, they're hard work, but they are definitely advantageous to run in, but hard work to get your feet into.
You don't want to go without them, but you can understand how it can be a struggle. Sweaty, wet socks, getting into the shoes. let's hope it all goes a little bit smoother.
Yeah, this is Lucy Byram with a wonderfully smooth dismount there, making her way into T2. British athlete, once again, huge cheers for her as she makes her way through to T2.
Made up 2 seconds in that dismount to Lucy Charles Barkley for sure.
Wonderfully smooth, which is the name of the game, isn't it?
Smooth is fast.
Completely clear transition area for Lucy. We saw that she was riding on her own for the entirety of that 80 kilometres. Rode through a few people on her way there, but really had no company the whole time. And then now as she comes into transition, the front four have gone. Anyone behind her is significantly behind her, and it was, just completely clear area for Lucy.
This is so exciting, I think, because right now we've got 4 athletes right at the front of this race who can absolutely have something to say about these podium places. And really, right now, this is wide open here at the T100 in London. Okay, so as the women's race is finally poised, the men's race gets underway. Thankfully, they're all in the water and away, and we'll start to get a picture of who is going to be out in front here in London. It's 2 laps of this 1 kilometre course before the athletes make their way to the first transition zone, get on the bike, and of course then finish with a run. Vicky Holland alongside me, just trying to get eyes on who that might be out in front.
Jamie Riddle. Pretty sure that is the purple hat of Jamie Riddle. We know what a class swimmer he is. One of our wildcard athletes, had a fantastic debut on the T100 in San Francisco with that 5th place finish. He's earned himself another shot, another wildcard, and I believe he is now leading the charge in the swim.
So as the men's swim gets underway, Jan, do you want to just pick up on what we were watching while the men's race introductions were happening?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't focus over the questionable music choices, and I was just glued to luckily having a side screen while we see this women's race unfold. Kate Woff stepping on the gas, and it is Lucy Charles Barkley who's closest to her. I mean, I would not have put money on that.
I would have picked it to be Taylor.
At this very stage, like, there's just a couple of meters that Taylor's letting go. We'll see. I mean, it's lap 2 of 5. There's obviously time to go. But, yeah, I'm really happy to see Lucy take charge.
Yeah, moves happening in that women's race as Kate Woff takes the lead. But when we go back into our men's race here, we've got Jamie Riddle, I believe, at the front of the race. Then we've got Rico Bogan, that's the green hat that you can see behind him. And then we've actually got 2 blue hats today. So we've got Hayden Wild and Jelle Geens both wearing blue hats. So at this particular point, I can't tell you which one's which. If that is Hayden Wild, I will say that is absolutely miraculous, given we know what he's been through over the last 3.5 months or so. But yeah, really tightly bunched right now. Not much separation at all in this men's field.
Jan, you were down at the Aquatic Centre, weren't you, the other day watching Hayden Wild, and you kind of remarked upon how good his injured shoulder looked in the swimming stroke.
So I tried to look at it from the side, and I actually picked the wrong shoulder. That is something that Hannah, his girlfriend, has obviously said as well. His left shoulder actually looks better. He looked to be swimming well, he looked to be moving well, and we joked around that he should probably now have his other shoulder done just to get his swim stroke finally dialed in. But again, early stages here, very keen to see where he comes out.
Yeah, Jamie Riddle just at the front there. I think that's Rico Bogan, isn't it? Just behind. And
a little bit of
backstroke.
Yes.
I mean, that's remarkable, isn't it, that he's doing that just to get a sense of where everyone else is. But that's a huge pack altogether. What are we, almost fair few meters into this 1 kilometre loop.
Well, you can see all the coloured hats every now and again when the sun catches them. So the pink hat sort of midway down the pack nearest to camera, that's Mika Newt as well. The red cap on the far side, that is Kyle Smith. And there's another blue cap near the back of the pack, but still very much in touch with the pack. So it seems like both Hayden Wilde and Jelle Geens are where they'd want to be at this early point in the race.
And we've also got, haven't we, almost two streams. You've got the one on the far side and the one on the one closest to where the camera position is. So almost two opportunities for those athletes. But I guess, is this where sighting is quite important, Becky, that you make sure you're not putting in extra effort going too wide, because they're going to have to bunch up, aren't they, to get around the buoy as efficiently as possible.
Yeah, sighting's always a bit of a contentious subject. Some people think they're going directly straight and they're really not, and other people are much better at doing that than others. But I'm just looking at that far stream of athletes, and I am wondering if that might be Leo Berger on the front. Leo Berger, incredibly well-rounded athlete, Olympic medalist, second on debut in the T100, going back to the Singapore round where we last saw him. One of our strong swimmers out there in front.
Big time.
Have a look at that split screen now. In the bottom left corner, we've got Kate Woff, and it appears there is no one around her, so she has made a really decisive move on what is now only towards the end of lap 2 of 5 of this 18-kilometre run.
So these athletes in the water right now making their way to the Aussie exit. This is where we're going to get the first chance to see if Vicky is right about who she thinks is at the front, but also get a sense of the times and the timing splits as to see who has the advantage in this bike leg. But as we keep saying, an awful long way to go from here.
It's much safer to just hedge your bets, isn't it, rather than actually put predictions on, but it's too late now. I'm in. Leo doing a really good job of stretching this out, though, because it was super bunched early on. And while a lot of the athletes are still within contact, you can see that Rico Bogan there in the green hat in third place, he's not right on the feet of Menno Koolhaas in second. There is a gap there, and it's not a big bunch, it's a long line. So you can tell that Leo has really put the hammer down on this second half of this first lap of the swim.
You certainly can. Really good to see Leo Berger back on the T100. He finished second in Singapore, and he's done a couple of short course World Triathlon Championship races since then, but struggling with a bit of injury. So really good to see him back, and hopefully he's still got plenty left to show us on the bike and on the run. But as I mentioned, this is the Aussie exit, and we will start to get some timing splits.
Hoob.
Jan's raised his eyebrows.
Okay, well, there we go. Our first two were right. We're very happy with that,
Vicky.
everybody, aren't we?
Well done.
That athlete there without the hat has come off. That was Antonio Benito Lopez, came through in 6th place there. So all the athletes we'd expect, but a brilliant swim there, going in 4th in that blue hat from Jelle Geens. Jelle Geens, our winner from Vancouver, 2nd place in San Francisco. If he had a weakness, it was the swim. So right now, he's exactly where he'd want to be. That's Justus Nieschlag going in again. His hat seems to have come off as well. And that's Hayden Wilde. That second blue hat was Hayden Wilde, and he is nowhere near the back of this race. What a fantastic first lap from him.
Yeah, hugely impressive, because even though he's down in 13th, he's actually only 24 seconds back from the leader. So still well within reach here.
This is going to shake up our standings quite a lot, isn't it? We've got our top 3, but they're going to finish in a different order today. Before the day started today, Julie Derham was our number 1. Taylor Knibb was wearing number 2 in the series, and then it was Kate Woff in 3rd, whereas Kate's going to take maximum points if she were to go on and win today. Currently, Taylor Knibb, who of course we've got eyes on, is actually in 3rd with Lucy Charles-Barclay in between. And right now, Julie Derham's in 6th, so Julie could in fact move up at least a couple more places there, but that's gonna shake things up at the top.
But Kate Woff right here looking like it's hers to lose. I mean, she's breathing comfortably. She's coming off altitude, which means she'd probably be feeling that boost as she's going right now. And putting on a great performance yet again.
So the men make their way out the water. They have now done both of their 1 kilometre laps onto the pontoon, up the stairs. Again, very unique aspect of this course at the Excel Centre here in London.
Leo still let it out of the water. I think that's Menno who's overtaken him. Jamie Riddle, I saw. Oh, no, it's Rico. Sorry, it's Rico who's come out and sprinted up the stairs past him.
Yeah, that's Jelle Geens running into third. A fantastic swim from him, both laps. Jamie Riddle, Antonio Benito Lopez there, pink cap of Mika Nut and Justus Nieschlag. So a lot of these athletes pretty tightly packed. I think that's Gregory Barnaby just coming up now, yeah. And potentially that was Wilhelm Hirsch right at the back of that group as well. So big pack still at the end of 2 laps.
Yeah, huge pack. And I think the other athletes will be looking on in horror seeing Rico Bogan right at the front here, because what he can do on the bike, the sort of gap he can open up, as he has done on the T100, did it in San Francisco and made it all look very simple. This, though, Hayden Wild just entering.
Kyle Smith.
Kyle Smith,
Kyle Smith at the
swim from
front.
him.
I think Hayden Wild might just be in this pack behind.
Yeah, there he is, holding that blue hat in his hand, running through screen there. So Hayden Wild, not right at the front of the race, but not too far down at all. And again, this was always going to be the part of the race that was going to be the biggest struggle for him, with the most amount of time out the water. And he said publicly he's not really been able to do any really hard quality swim sessions yet. So yeah, that's an incredibly impressive swim from Hayden.
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely phenomenal. We'll probably mention it a fair bit, but look, surgery to start line in 97 days. Just absolutely remarkable when you see the images of what he had to deal with from that bike accident.
Wasn't it crash to racing in 98?
What did I say? Surgery.
Surgery was 10 days later.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
So, you know,
sorry.
It's 88 days, he's had even less time.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we're going to run out of superlatives to describe that kind of recovery process, but it is unbelievable, isn't it?
You can just see in the bottom left of your screen there, Rico Bogan doing what Rico Bogan does pretty well, it has to be said, leading from the front.
Yeah, we're becoming quite familiar with seeing this from Rico Bogan, aren't we? And whilst we don't have the men's leaderboard up on screen, we know that Mika Nut is the athlete in second right behind him. Jelle Geens in the perfect position, ready to pounce in third. Leo Berger's right there. We've also got Menno Koolhaas and Antonio Benito Lopez. So those are our top 6 this early on in the race. But yeah, finely poised, but very, very early on in the bike course for the men so far.
Oh, and some grimacing on the face.
I was going to say that, yeah. Goodness me, that did look slightly painful.
As it should be. I mean, at the stage of the race, she still looks great. She still looks smooth. As Lucy comes up just behind. Yeah.
But yeah, she's hurting to keep hold of this lead now. And Lucy's supporters, I'm sure, will be relaying that to her. She's not comfortable. She's struggling a little bit. But we will get an updated time split soon. That's the ticker claims 12 seconds. So if that's right, she has brought that down by a few seconds. Quick look back there. Nervous look back from Kate Woff. But yeah, it's got to be now, Lucy, if Lucy's going to catch to the front. She's going to be going past her any second now. So now Kate has to respond. This is the most nail-biting female finish we've had in T100 history. It's exactly what we want to see. Can Kate Woff raise her game one more time? Here goes Lucy Charles-Barclay.
I knew it. She just doesn't have an inch of patience in her.
Didn't even look. Straight past. What can Kate Woff do now? We have a new leader.
Oh, this is so exciting. Lucy Charles-Barclay overtaking Kate Woff here on the final lap in London. What can Kate Woff do to respond?
She has. Straight away she's gone into the lead there with that decent gap. There's been no response from Kate Woff. I think that grimace that we saw and that look over the shoulder with 1 lap to go was very telling.
Well, I mean, a surge putting 2 minutes into this lady right here. 2 minutes into Taylor Lim. I mean, that's unheard of.
So Lucy Charles-Barclay, the final few corners, she raises her arms in the air. She's had 2 second places on the T100. She's been the nearly woman of this series. But finally, she is going to win a T100 race, screaming to the crowd. And Lucy Charles-Barclay, congratulations, you are our T100 London champion.
Yes.
Look at that emotion. Look at it pour out of her.
And Kate Wolf, rounding that final corner, she gave it such a good effort here. It was almost the victory. Lucy Charles-Barclay had something to say about that, but I think she'll be pretty happy with this result. Kate Wolf coming home in second.
Rookie season, what a performance this.
What a brilliant race this has been. The top three pushed each other forward. There was a point where we thought we might have a three-way finish. It didn't quite materialise, but Taylor Knibb comes home in third. So, as our female athletes start to think about their recovery and what they're going to be doing over the next few hours, the men's race is, well, really just getting started.
I've been keeping one eye on Rico here.
Go on.
And he is taking these corners so hot. He is very, very smooth, and he is making sure he really gets the most out of the technicalities of this course. You can see even between speed bumps, he's got enough time to put in 2 or 3 pedal strokes and is absolutely gunning for it.
Big time. This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. Foot on the gas, ain't no slowing down. Aiming for greatness, no settling. Kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Taking no rest, yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Running the game now. Foot on the gas, can slow down. No. Yeah, I gotta win. Watch me kick down the doors, they won't let me in. Watch the game change, yeah.
So plenty of opportunities to join us still this year. If you scan that QR code on your screen, you can find out more about upcoming races. We've got the French Riviera at the end of this month, then Dubai and Qatar later on in the year. Great opportunity for some winter sun, I say.
In the top 6 athletes, 4 of them have been out with injury over the last couple of races. So Gregory Barnaby currently sitting in 6th. He's had, I think, an infection in his foot that became quite nasty, and so he hasn't been able to compete since May, I think. Mathis Magirier with that bike crash just after Singapore, with a fracture. Leo Berger with his problems. And on top of that, of course, Hayden Wild. So really interesting that in our top 6, 4 of them have missed a significant chunk of racing this summer and are currently laying down great performances.
Yeah, you just can't really predict how any of them are going to, well, how any of them are going to race really on this next part of the course. But one man who has been exceptionally consistent so far on the T100 is Mika Nut, a 3rd place in Vancouver and a 3rd place in San Francisco, the pick of his results this year. So Rico Bogan still looking mighty strong here at the front of this T100 race here in London, as he has done all throughout really since he led out of T1, made his way onto the bike. And this sort of 30-second-ish lead that he's had over Hayden Wild has kind of been the way throughout the whole of this bike leg so far, hasn't it?
Yeah, he obviously got that gap down a little bit from the very beginning of the bike, where it was around about a minute, just under a minute, and started to make some inroads to Rico. But once it got to, as you quite rightly said, around that 30-second marker, it's kind of hovered, a little bit above, a little bit below, but it's never really come down since then. So still with that 30-second advantage, Rico Bogan at the front. Now 3+ minutes down from the front of the race, and that is starting to get into the territory where even someone the likes of the run of Jelle Geens, we would start to question whether he can possibly catch Rico Bogan if that gap goes out much more.
So we go from Jelle Geens to Mathis Magirier. Good to see him back on the T100. He's had an injury, had a bike crash just after Singapore, has been rehabbing that, been getting back into race condition. We find him here in London in just that, currently sitting in 4th. So there we go, Rico Bogan just rounding the final few corners, and then he'll make his way through to the second transition zone.
And right now you can see he can keep some of the pace off the bike and get straight into his running stride, which for now looks pretty smooth. His blue Erdinger suit matching the carpet that we've got.
his cycling shoes want to keep touching the carpet, but he's doing a decent job of directing the bike as they start to settle. And he'll mount his bike in these pods, which we have specially built for us here on the T100 circuit to hold the bike in place. Socks go on, shoes will go on, and he'll begin the run leg.
Bravo, you can see the socks there just half peeled down so you can slip in as fast as possible. No hiccups on the shoes, and he's out. What a way to take the race. He's out before anyone else is into T2. He has set himself up for success. Right there you can see him at the far end of the screen as Hayden Wilde leads Mika Nut into transition zone. And these guys are still in their bike shoes while Rico is out front, gaining time on the run.
They've definitely got someone to chase down. Make no mistake about that. Rico Bogan, I'm sure, will have something to say, though, about how quickly the likes of Hayden Wilde, Mika Nut, and those behind can catch up. How does he look? Good? Yeah.
Hayden looks smooth. He's got his composure for now. He's got his very typical running style. Yeah, it's just amazing. He looks like he did 4 months ago.
I know, and I'm so excited to see what he can deliver today. We've talked about it seemingly endlessly, haven't we? What's he got in the tank? How much can he afford to have lost from that dominant win that we saw in Singapore? But yeah, here we go. Here is the moment where we actually first get eyes on Hayden Wilde as he hits the run course in a second place.
Nice quick transition there from Hayden. Mika Nut not far behind, putting on the famous headband that we're so familiar with seeing. And Rico Bogan, though, by this point has already made his way quite significantly out of the course. 1:15 the gap as things stand from that first transition zone, pretty much as it was when they went in.
Interesting, Mathis Magier is the first one to not wear aerodynamic calf sleeves. He's the first guy, to miss that. I wonder if that would have really impacted his time.
Decent lead that Hayden's built there over Mika Nut. Kind of left him in the distance, really. And I guess for Hayden Wilde, his ambitions for this race, he'll be turning his attention to Rico Bogan out in front.
It felt like he flew out of transition and really wasn't kind of thinking too much about the pace, just go, go, go. But he, at that time, was putting his watch onto his wrist and is now checking it frequently, just checking the pace that he's running at. So still being quite calculated.
Calculated, and we're getting word on the street that he's heading out at low 3-minute pace, 3:05, which would seem about right for him. I think that's something that he's able to sustain. But we can see just how far that gap is on this out and back as Rico faces him on the other side and giving each other a good stare.
This is such a great part of this course. I feel like Hayden really gave him a look. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
It's such a fantastic part of this course, knowing that you get to see those moments when the athletes pass each other. And we saw it a lot in the women's race and how they're just clocking each other, knowing how far apart each athlete is. And you can see side by side the pace difference there. Hayden almost 10 seconds quicker, really, per kilometre.
What's he got on his
than
hips?
Rico.
Is that his nutrition? I wonder if he's got
pockets in his suit, maybe
pockets to hold some gels, maybe. But just the acceleration out of that turnaround. You can see Rico moving well, but compared to Hayden, unfortunately, the rest of the world just looks laboured.
I think Jelle could get close. I think the way Mika Nut's been racing recently and knowing that he's feeling in pretty good form still, I'm just not sure that the likes of Jelle, as classy a runner as he is, can do it. But I'm reluctant to write him off. But for me, right now, these are our 3 podium boys.
He really is setting new standards in triathlon, is Hayden Wild at the moment. This is a quite remarkable performance so far. Even if it was to all go wrong for him now, he's certainly impressed us all with just how well and how smooth he's looked.
As he makes his move right here,
Sheltered.
just before it goes up, and yeah, that's
Clever.
not even a try.
I really thought this is what he was going to do. He's come into the Excel Centre now. They're sheltered, even though they're slightly into a headwind. He's put an effort in up the hill. He's going to get the boost of the crowd, and then he's going to head out into the tailwind. It was a tactical piece of running. I mean, look at the gap he's put in there.
That's extraordinary.
He's barely breathing.
I mean, this guy, he's literally bionic right now. It's unreal. Quick time check. Pace check. Got somewhere to be, Hayden?
We see Jelle Geens. Oh, he's caught Mathis Margier. So he has made a move on Menno.
So that's up into 4th place now, isn't it?
He's now into 4th. With still a significant time, though, to close.
That is the sight of Mika Newt overtaking Rico Bogan. And we've seen this a few times before.
But it's this same story with Rico, isn't it? He is fantastic swimmer. He is nigh on, if not the best cyclist that we have. But his run is hit and miss. When it's there, it's phenomenal, and he can win races.
Jelle averaging 3:16 per kilometre. He's running 4 seconds faster at the moment than Hayden Wild at the front.
Yeah, well, it's down to, what, 45 seconds, 55 seconds now? So he's got it under a minute to Rico Bogan. So that's starting to look very ominous.
And it's going to have a very real impact on the race to Qatar, because you can see on the graphic there, Jelle Geens would maintain his place, would move into 1st place on the race to Qatar, 87 points, but catching my eye at the bottom there is Hayden Wild. 2 races on the T100, potentially 2 wins, and he is right in there at the moment. So a minute for the lead at the moment that Hayden Wild has got over Mika Newt out in front. I just wonder, at what point does Hayden start to think about preserving this lead, with perhaps people going backwards? Yeah, charging Jelle Geens is not what you want to be seeing at the end of a T100 race in your wind mirrors at all. And he's going to catch up to Rico Bogan very quickly here. So Jelle Geens up into 3rd place. Yeah, so Mika Newt right now sitting in 2nd place. So Hayden Wild, thumbs up from the crowd. A punctured lung, broken ribs, an injured scapula, all within the space of a few months. He's on the blue carpet, and perhaps the emotion starting to show, because this Kiwi athlete is built of something quite extraordinary. Hayden Wild, 2 wins from 2 in the T100 this year. What an incredible, logic-defying performance. A truly remarkable result. Mika Newt taking the blue carpet, 2nd place on the T100. This is his best ever T100 result. He held off a charging Jelle Geens and crosses the finish line. He looks absolutely shattered. He's expended an awful lot of energy. The smile starts to come. Jelle Geens rounding off our podium here in the men's field.
Are you aware of what you've achieved, or are you just trying to park that and just concentrate on the racing?
Yeah, like honestly, I wasn't afraid of the race. You have a big injury, you're off for 3 months more or less, and you have those negative thoughts in your mind when you're like, can I actually get back to that level? That was the first swim bike I had since Singapore. So, 3 months without doing that, it's always a little bit cautious. So I was really happy that the legs felt good going onto the bike.
Just confirmation then of the men's results. Hayden Wild emerging here in London victorious. Mika Newt in second, and Yelagines rounding out the podium with the fastest run of anyone here in London. And let's take a look at how that impacts the race to Qatar standings. Yelagines, well, with a nice lead at the top there. 9 points the difference between him and Mika Newt. Rico Bogan in third. Martin van Riel not here in London, so he moves down into fourth place on 73.
Talk us through the last 3K. Was that tactics, was that training, or was that just sheer guts and courage?
Yeah, I think a bit of all of that. Definitely, I could see Kate in front of me, and I was like, I feel like I might be reeling her in, and I still felt pretty strong. And I was like, just keep running, see what happens. And as I was closing, I was like, this could be the day you can do this. But I just had to hold it together and just keep pushing all the way to the end. And yeah, I couldn't quite believe it when I crossed the line.
And confirmation that it was Lucy Charles-Barclay who got the win in the women's race. The fastest swim and fastest run award going to her. Kate Woff in second, a super impressive performance from her. And Taylor Knibb rounding out the podium in third, the fastest bike leg of anyone. And it's a two-way tie between Kate Woff and Taylor Knibb on 90 points apiece. Julie Duron not far behind on 87. Lucy Charles-Barclay on 84, and Jessica Learmonth on 60 in fifth in the race to Qatar.
It has been a day of remarkable headlines. A reminder, we're off to Frejus in a few weeks' time, so we'll see you for that. But well done, Lucy Charles-Barclay. Well done, Hayden Wild. Fabulous stories. Bye for now.